What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye. Let me circle back. What up, Chig? It's your boy. It's your boy Chig from Chig Flicks, the movie and music review channel where I talk to you about movies and music, mainly movies though. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, I promised you guys one more review, and I knew that one more review would be this: Anelka, Misunderstood. Now, a lot of you have come over from my Guna Eagle Eye channel. So a lot of you will either be football fans or Arsenal fans. Let me tell you something, right? I quite like sports documentaries like this. The last one I saw, which you guys know about and I reviewed on here, was the Last Dance with Michael Jordan. Now, obviously, I used to be a big basketball fan anyway, but I would recommend it to people who are not basketball fans. For me, it wasn't so much about the sport. It was a good psychological insight into what it takes to be an elite athlete. This is another example of this. For me, because Nicolas Anelka was with Arsenal for such a short time, and then he was with so many different clubs, no one really knew him or understood him. Now, before I go into this, I must put a little prerequisite. I am not by any means endorsing any kind of behavior or any racist behavior that he may or may not have displayed towards Jewish people in the salute that he gave. This is not a oh, you need to see this because of Nicolas Anelka. This is not I am by no means suggesting that anything he's done in the past in relation to that is correct. Just like if I watched a Jeffrey Epstein Netflix documentary, as I intend to, by no means am I endorsing any of his alleged crimes. But this, for me, I took this for what it was. This was just a documentary with someone who, at the very least, I think we can all agree, is not boring. He's a very complex, self-confident, assured man, even now in his 40s. And it was fascinating hearing him talk through all his moves, all his controversies. Some of the things I didn't really appreciate how big they were at the time, because I guess you're in England, and normally I have this attitude of once you've left Arsenal, that's kind of my mind shut towards you. But man, I made that mistake with this particular man. I thought it was a fascinating documentary. I really did. It's different to The Last Dance. The Last Dance, you kind of get the feeling that no matter which way they were going to take that story, it was always going to end as kind of Michael Jordan looking like some kind of heroic figure. What I liked about this was Anelka basically just said to the audience, it's up to you what you decide I am, but I don't give a shit anyway. And actually, I like that. I really liked that. I appreciated that. So it allowed me to kind of really take in everything that happened. So they all spoke in their native tongue. I say all because there were some special guests, as you can imagine. Thierry Henry was part of the documentary, big part of the documentary. I didn't appreciate it before, but him and Anelka really grew up from the very start. They were together from the very get-go. And they finished their career more or less not far apart from each other. So they've always kind of been together in one form or another, ironically, other than at Arsenal. Emmanuel Petit was in it. Didier Drogba was in it. Arsene Wenger, of course, was in it. Henry Winter was in it, obviously talking English. The rest were talking French, but it was dubbed for us. So yeah, it was fascinating. Some people had recommended me this on the channel, on Guna Eagle Eye, actually in person at work. People have been recommending me this, and my mind, I kind of like, oh, I don't really want to watch an Anelka thing. Man, was I wrong. This was so good. He started from the very start of his career, what his mindset was like, what his mentality was like. I had no idea that his move to Arsenal was a real controversial one because of the rules he was breaking. And I remember at the time there was a lot of hold up. I must have been 12 at the time, so you got to appreciate that. I remember at the time there was a lot of hold up, but I didn't really understand what was going on. And then eventually he was confirmed. And yeah, it was. I didn't realize that the whole move was engineered more or less by him, and he wanted to leave PSG in the first place, and he wanted to come to Arsenal, and he wanted to prove to himself. I thought that stuff was really interesting, and it was really good to get an insight into him. Then he explained it, his time at Arsenal, which I kind of had an idea of what it was. He had to kind of prove himself to the old guard a little bit. He was the guy that was expected to replace Ian Wright at the time when he was coming in. In fact, as he was coming in, Ian Wright was on his way out the following year. So yeah, he kind of came in and he did his thing. And then obviously halfway through 1999, you really appreciate how many times this guy has moved clubs. It seemed like every season this guy was looking for a new club. I completely forgot, for example, that he played for Fenerbahce. Genuinely forgot that. It escaped my mind. He played for Bolton at one point. He played for West Brom at one point. He played for Liverpool at one point. He played for Chelsea at one point. My gosh. I mean, he went through the clubs. What was interesting about the documentary was talking about how the Liverpool move was the one that he wished last longer, because that was the one place where he felt, at least prior to Chelsea, where he obviously ended up doing really well at Chelsea, but the Liverpool move was the one where he felt that it was cut short before he was ready for it to cut short. Like, he felt really comfortable there. Listen, I don't want to spoil too much, man, because I ain't going to lie to you. For me, go and watch it. No matter what you think of him, no matter if you hate him, listen, even if you are sat there thinking, no, he's a racist bastard, I don't care. I've watched documentaries about racist people before. I've watched one about David Duke before. So I think sometimes it's just about keeping an open mind, and it's interesting to just find an insight into people. He tried to explain himself with the Quinnell salute. I must admit, if I was Jewish, I would still feel a way about it. I didn't particularly like his explanation. I think he should have just been a bit more humble in his explanation for that salute. But at the same time, I honestly, I found the whole thing just a really fascinating watch. It's an hour and a half. If you've got an hour and a half spare, make sure you go watch it. I watched it yesterday, and I thought it was really entertaining. So make sure you go and see it. I said go and see it. It's on Netflix. If you got Netflix, just click on it and remember I told you. If I had to grade it, I don't think it was as good as The Last Dance, because I think The Last Dance had a proper build to it, but I still thought it was fascinating. So I'd give it a B. I would give it a B. You guys let me know what you think once you've seen it. Comment down below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We are almost on 200 subscribers, which is great. And I'll keep these reviews coming. All right, I'm out of here. In the meantime, enjoy yourself. Enjoy your night. Take care. And peace.